Welcome to Old Age Wisdom, where we explore the journey of aging with insight and practical advice. Are you curious about what the coming years might hold, particularly regarding your health span and lifespan, once you've celebrated your 70th birthday? If finding valuable information like this resonates with you, please take a moment right now to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It truly helps us bring these discussions to more people like you. As we navigate our later decades, each passing year often feels increasingly valuable and significant. The reality is, our bodies are continuously sending subtle messages, potential indicators about the duration and quality of life we might expect. We've all observed it. Some individuals in their 70s remain remarkably strong, mentally sharp, and brimming with vitality, while others may find themselves gradually slowing down, contending with various health challenges, or experiencing persistent fatigue. What accounts for this difference? Frequently, the distinction lies in recognizing a few key signs, subtle yet powerful indicators that can offer a glimpse into our potential future health trajectory. In this video, we are going to delve into 7 specific signs that research suggests might reveal insights into how long and how well you may live after reaching the age of 70. These indicators we'll be discussing aren't based on guesswork or old wives' tales. They stem from observable patterns carefully documented by researchers and medical professionals who study individuals enjoying long, healthy lives well into their later years. By the conclusion of our discussion today, you will have a clearer understanding of precisely what to observe in your own body and lifestyle habits. More importantly, you'll gain insights into actionable steps you can potentially take to enhance your prospects for a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. We encourage you to stay with us until the very end, as you might be overlooking seemingly minor factors that could actually wield a considerable influence on your future well-being. Once you become adept at recognizing these particular signs, you'll possess a more informed perspective on your current standing and identify potential adjustments you might consider making to possibly add more healthy, active years to your life. Now, let's begin exploring these important indicators, starting with the first sign. Sign number 1 revolves around something deceptively simple yet profoundly revealing: your customary walking speed. Interestingly, one of the most robust indicators of potential longevity after age 70 isn't necessarily concealed within your genetic code, buried in complex medical records, or even solely dictated by your diet. It's often reflected in the pace at which you naturally walk. Numerous studies have demonstrated a correlation suggesting that individuals who consistently maintain a steady, reasonably brisk walking pace during their 70s and beyond generally tend to experience longer lifespans compared to those whose pace significantly diminishes. This connection exists because your walking speed serves as a direct reflection of your overall physical health, encompassing muscle strength, cardiovascular function, and even cognitive health. Consider, for instance, 2 gentlemen, Joe and Frank, both 75 years old. Joe makes it a point to walk every morning, maintaining a consistent pace without noticeable struggle when crossing streets or ascending stairs. His movements appear fluid, well-balanced, and confident. Frank, conversely, while previously active, has experienced a marked slowdown in recent years. He finds it challenging to keep pace with others, requires frequent pauses, and occasionally feels unsteady on his feet. While Joe's comfortable pace suggests his body continues to function effectively, Frank's declining speed could serve as an early warning signal that his underlying health might be deteriorating, perhaps indicating issues beyond simple aging. If you appreciate learning about these practical health indicators, please consider subscribing to Old Age Wisdom so you don't miss future updates. A slow, unsteady gait isn't merely a consequence of getting older. It can potentially signal underlying issues that warrant attention, such as diminishing muscle strength, compromised circulation, or possibly even the early stages of neurological decline. Our legs truly form our physical foundation, and as they begin to weaken, our overall resilience can diminish as well. However, there's encouraging news. Walking speed is often something that can be positively influenced and potentially improved. The principle is straightforward. The more consistently you engage in walking, the stronger your legs, and by extension, your body, are likely to remain. If you've personally observed that you're moving at a slower pace than you used to, it's wise not to disregard this change. Begin by incorporating small, manageable efforts aimed at building or maintaining strength. This could involve consciously taking more frequent walks throughout the day, incorporating the use of light weights for simple resistance exercises, or performing basic leg strengthening exercises recommended for seniors. Ultimately, the pace at which you move through life, quite literally, can offer valuable insights into how long you might continue moving with vitality. Therefore, pay mindful attention to your natural walking pace. It might just be one of the most accessible ways to periodically check in on your potential for longevity. Sign number 2 focuses on your grip strength. Believe it or not, the firmness of your handshake, or more broadly, the strength you can exert with your hands, might be revealing more about your future health outlook than you commonly realize. Extensive research has identified grip strength as one of the clearer indicators of overall physical vitality and robustness, particularly in older adults. A consistently firm, steady grip typically suggests not only strong muscles in the hands and forearms, but also often correlates with good circulatory health and a well-functioning nervous system. Conversely, a noticeably weak or progressively declining grip can serve as an early warning sign, potentially indicating muscle loss, sarcopenia, increased frailty, and even a statistically higher risk of experiencing various health complications down the road. Imagine Robert, a 78-year-old gentleman who always took quiet pride in his reliably firm handshake. He maintains an active lifestyle, engages in light weightlifting exercises, and generally doesn't encounter difficulties with everyday tasks like opening jars or carrying moderately heavy grocery bags. Then consider Walter, also 78, who has gradually started noticing that simple actions, such as twisting the cap off a water bottle or securely holding onto a heavy shopping bag, feel significantly more challenging than they once did. He initially dismissed these changes as simply being part of the aging process. However, what Walter might not recognize is that his diminishing grip strength could be signaling a broader loss of muscle mass throughout his body, a condition that could unfortunately make him more susceptible to falls, injuries, and potentially contribute to a shorter overall life expectancy. We truly appreciate you watching and learning with us. If you value content like this, designed for thoughtful aging, hitting the like button and subscribing to Old Age Wisdom helps us immensely. Your hands, in many ways, act as a reflection of your body's overall muscle health and functional strength. If you perceive that your grip is weakening, there's a reasonable chance that muscle strength in other parts of your body might also be declining concurrently. As overall strength diminishes, it naturally becomes more challenging to maintain independence, remain physically active, and retain the resilience needed to navigate daily life effectively. The positive aspect here is that, much like walking speed, grip strength is often something you can actively work to maintain or even rebuild. Engaging in simple, accessible exercises can make a tangible difference. Activities such as regularly squeezing a tennis ball or a dedicated hand gripper, performing wrist curls with light weights, or even consciously carrying light objects can help sustain your hand and forearm strength, thereby supporting overall muscle integrity. So, take a brief moment for a self-assessment. Does shaking hands feel less firm than it used to? Are everyday tasks requiring hand strength becoming noticeably harder? If so, please don't ignore these subtle signals. The ability you possess today to firmly hold on to things might offer a valuable clue about how well you'll be able to hold on to vitality and independence in the years yet to come. Sign number 3 relates to your balance, specifically your ability to comfortably stand on one leg. Balance is an aspect of physical function that most people don't consciously think about until they begin to notice it diminishing. However, research suggests that the capacity to stand steadily on one leg for a minimum duration, often cited as at least 10 seconds, serves as one of the surprisingly strong predictors of longevity and overall health in later life. Studies have consistently found that individuals who struggle significantly with maintaining their balance are statistically more likely to experience falls, sustain related injuries, and may even face a higher risk of cognitive decline over time. Conversely, those who can confidently maintain good balance well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond tend, on average, to live longer and experience healthier lives. Consider 2 women, Carol and Nancy, both in their early 70s. Carol has consistently prioritized staying active. She walks regularly, practices yoga, and finds it relatively easy to lift one foot off the ground, and hold the position for several seconds without significant wobbling or loss of stability. Nancy, on the other hand, hasn't dedicated much specific attention to her balance over the years. When she attempts to stand on one leg, she almost immediately begins to feel unsteady, often needing to quickly reach out and grab onto something nearby to steady herself. What Nancy might not fully appreciate is that this noticeable loss of balance isn't merely an inconvenience. It acts as a potential warning sign suggesting that her coordination, underlying muscle strength, and possibly even certain aspects of brain function related to proprioception and stability might be declining. Effective balance relies upon a complex interplay of factors, including strong leg and core muscles, a responsive nervous system capable of making rapid adjustments, and a healthy brain processing sensory input correctly. If you find yourself stumbling more frequently than usual, feeling unsteady when making quick turns, or increasingly needing to hold on to walls or furniture for support as you move around your home, it's a clear signal that it's time to take proactive steps to address your balance. The encouraging aspect is that balance, like strength and endurance, is highly trainable and can often be significantly improved regardless of age. Incorporating simple, targeted exercises into your routine can make a substantial difference. Practices such as deliberately standing on one foot for a few seconds at a time each day, using support initially if needed, carefully walking heel to toe along a straight line, or engaging in gentle movement practices like Tai Chi, which specifically emphasizes balance and coordination, can effectively help you rebuild stability and confidence. Try this simple test right now, ensuring you have something sturdy nearby to hold on to if needed. Stand up straight and gently lift one foot off the ground. Can you maintain this position for about 10 seconds without excessive swaying or needing to put your foot down? If you find it challenging, don't panic, but also don't dismiss it. The effort you invest in actively working on your balance today directly contributes to remaining stronger, steadier, and more independent for the years that lie ahead. Sign number 4 concerns your sleeping patterns and overall sleep quality. How well and how consistently you sleep each night reveals a great deal about your underlying health and may even offer insights into your potential longevity. Sleep is far more than just a period of rest. It's a critical time during which your body undertakes essential repair processes, strengthens the immune system, consolidates memories, and crucially, clears metabolic waste products and toxins from the brain that accumulate during waking hours. Numerous scientific studies have indicated that people over the age of 70 who consistently maintain regular, high-quality sleep patterns, typically involving 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night, tend to enjoy longer and healthier lives on average. Conversely, individuals who chronically struggle with poor sleep, experiencing frequent awakenings, difficulty falling asleep, or non-restorative sleep, face a demonstrably higher risk of encountering issues such as memory decline, cardiovascular problems like hypertension, and a weakened immune response, making them more susceptible to infections. Think about two men, Henry and Bill, both in their mid-70s. Henry adheres to a relatively consistent bedtime, generally sleeps for around 7 solid hours each night, and typically wakes up feeling reasonably refreshed and ready for the day. Bill, however, often experiences restless nights characterized by tossing and turning, waking up multiple times, and sometimes finding it difficult to fall back asleep. Over time, Henry's body continues to function relatively well, his mind remains sharp, and his energy levels are fairly steady. Bill, affected by chronic poor sleep, begins to experience noticeable consequences such as persistent brain fog, significant daytime fatigue, and even unfavorable changes in his blood pressure readings, all potentially linked to his declining sleep quality. We appreciate you investing your time with Old Age Wisdom. If these insights resonate, letting us know with a like or by subscribing helps ensure more people can find this information. If you frequently wake up during the night, find it difficult to stay asleep for extended periods, or consistently feel exhausted upon waking, even after spending what seems like sufficient hours in bed, it's important not to simply brush these experiences off as an inevitable part of aging. Your body is likely sending you a message that something is amiss. Poor sleep in older adults can be linked to a variety of factors, including heightened stress levels, dietary choices, like consuming heavy meals or caffeine too close to bedtime, insufficient physical activity during the day, or even undiagnosed underlying health conditions such as obstructive sleep apnea or restless leg syndrome. The positive takeaway here is that sleep quality is often highly amenable to improvement through conscious effort and lifestyle adjustments. Implementing relatively simple changes can yield significant benefits. Consider strategies like reducing exposure to screens, phones, tablets, TVs, in the hour or two before bed, establishing and sticking to a consistent sleep-wake routine even on weekends, ensuring exposure to natural sunlight in the morning to help regulate your internal clock, or avoiding large meals and excessive fluids close to bedtime. Remember, achieving adequate sleep isn't solely about feeling rested the next day. It's fundamentally about maintaining the optimal functioning of both your body and your mind. So, tonight and in the coming nights, pay closer attention to your sleep patterns. If you consistently wake up feeling tired, struggle to maintain sleep, or feel that the quality of your sleep has noticeably deteriorated in recent years, it's prudent to explore and implement adjustments. How well you rest today plays a crucial role in determining how strong, healthy, and mentally sharp you remain in the years ahead. Sign number 5 relates to your appetite and overall eating habits. The way you nourish your body after the age of 70 stands as one of the particularly strong indicators of your potential health span and longevity. Maintaining a healthy, consistent appetite and adhering to a well-balanced diet provide the essential fuel your body needs to stay strong, keep your immune system resilient and responsive, and sustain adequate energy levels for daily activities. Conversely, experiencing a sudden, unexplained loss of appetite or consistently falling into patterns of poor eating habits can serve as signals of potential underlying health issues and might even contribute to accelerating the aging process. Consider the examples of 2 women, Margaret and Susan, both 74 years old. Margaret genuinely enjoys her meals, makes an effort to consume a diverse range of fresh, whole foods, and successfully maintains a relatively steady, healthy weight. She often looks forward to preparing her own meals and generally feels energized throughout her day. Susan, however, has noticed a distinct change. She simply doesn't feel as hungry as she used to. She finds herself frequently skipping meals, often relies on convenient processed foods rather than preparing nutritious options, and has experienced unintentional weight loss over the past year. What Susan may not fully realize is that her declining appetite isn't just a minor fluctuation. It functions as a potential red flag. It could indicate that her body isn't absorbing nutrients as effectively as it once did, which, over time, can lead to weakened muscles, a slower metabolism, and even compromised immune function. A decreased appetite, particularly when it represents a noticeable change, is frequently linked to various underlying health concerns in older adults. These can range from digestive issues or hormonal shifts to side effects from medications or even subtle, early signs of cognitive decline. Furthermore, when you consistently aren't consuming enough calories and essential nutrients, particularly protein, your body may begin to break down its own muscle tissue for energy. This process, known as sarcopenia, leads directly to increased weakness, heightened frailty, and a significantly elevated risk of experiencing falls and subsequent illnesses. Therefore, if you've observed distinct changes in your own eating habits, whether it's feeling full very quickly after starting a meal, experiencing a general lack of interest in food you once enjoyed, or noticing unexpected weight loss without actively trying, it is crucial to address these changes proactively rather than ignoring them. Eating well after 70 isn't just about satisfying hunger. It's fundamentally about providing your body with the high-quality nutrients it requires to function optimally and maintain its structural integrity. Make a conscious effort to focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods, prioritize adequate hydration throughout the day, and please, do not disregard a persistently shrinking appetite. It could very well be your body's way of signaling that something requires attention and possibly medical evaluation. Sign number 6 involves your ability to effectively handle stress. The manner in which you typically respond to and manage stressful situations after the age of 70 can offer significant insights into your potential longevity and overall well-being. It's well established that chronic, unmanaged stress doesn't merely impact your mood or emotional state. It exerts tangible, detrimental effects on your physical health. Prolonged stress can weaken your immune system's ability to fight off infections, significantly raise your risk of developing cardiovascular diseases like hypertension and heart attacks, and may even accelerate the biological aging process at a cellular level. On the other hand, individuals who have developed effective coping mechanisms and consistently manage stress in healthy ways tend to remain healthier, stay more physically active, and maintain better mental sharpness well into their later years. Consider John and Richard, both 76 years old. John, like everyone, encounters challenges in life: unexpected financial pressures, health scares concerning himself or loved ones, family disagreements. However, he has cultivated the ability to approach these situations with a generally calm and steady demeanor. He utilizes techniques like deep breathing exercises, actively maintains social engagement for support, and consciously avoids dwelling excessively on problems beyond his immediate control. Richard, in contrast, tends to hold on to stress tightly. He finds himself constantly worrying about potential future problems or things outside his influence, feels easily overwhelmed by relatively minor frustrations, and often gets stuck in cycles of negative thinking. Over extended periods, this pattern of chronic stress takes a toll on Richard's body. His blood pressure tends to be elevated, his sleep quality suffers, and his overall energy levels noticeably decline. Long-term exposure to stress hormones triggers a state of low-grade chronic inflammation throughout the body. This systemic inflammation has been strongly linked by medical research to the development or exacerbation of nearly every major age-related disease, ranging from neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's disease to cardiovascular problems and certain types of cancer. Therefore, if you frequently find yourself feeling tense, irritable, easily agitated, or emotionally drained much of the time, it's imperative not to ignore these feelings as simply how things are. Actively seeking out and implementing ways to manage stress effectively can genuinely contribute to adding healthy years to your life. This might involve incorporating mindfulness practices or meditation, engaging in regular physical exercise, a known stress reliever, learning and practicing deep breathing techniques, or even consciously making more time for laughter and enjoyable activities. Take a moment to honestly assess your own typical responses. When challenges inevitably arise, do you generally adapt, seek solutions, and move forward, or do you tend to hold on to worry and allow stress to take control? Developing the ability to remain relatively calm, focus on finding solutions within your power, and maintain control over your reactions isn't just beneficial for your mental peace. It stands as a key factor in determining how long and how well you live. Sign number 7 highlights the importance of your social connections. The strength, quality, and consistency of your relationships with others can serve as one of the most revealing indicators of how long and how healthily you might live, especially after the age of 70. A large body of research has consistently demonstrated that individuals who maintain strong, positive social ties, whether through close friendships, active family involvement, participation in community groups, or regular social engagement, tend, on average, to live longer and experience better overall health outcomes. Conversely, chronic loneliness and social isolation have been definitively linked to significantly higher risks of developing heart disease, experiencing depression and anxiety, suffering from faster cognitive decline, and even facing increased rates of premature mortality. Consider the contrasting situations of Eleanor and Barbara, both 78 years old. Eleanor cultivates an active and fulfilling social life. She makes an effort to stay in regular contact with longtime friends, actively participates in a local book club, and genuinely enjoys spending quality time with her family members. She looks forward to these interactions, laughs frequently, and feels a palpable sense of connection and belonging with the people around her. Barbara, however, finds herself spending most of her time alone. Over the years, she has gradually lost touch with many of her former friends, and although she has family, she rarely initiates contact or participates in gatherings. As months turn into years, she begins to feel increasingly isolated. Her mood noticeably declines, and consequently, her overall physical health starts to suffer. Meaningful human connection provides far more than just emotional support. It plays a direct and vital role in maintaining our physical health and well-being. When you regularly interact positively with others, your brain remains stimulated and active, your physiological stress levels tend to decrease, and your body releases neurochemicals, like oxytocin, that promote feelings of well-being and have beneficial effects on cardiovascular health and immune function. If you've noticed yourself gradually withdrawing from social activities you once enjoyed, consistently avoiding phone calls or social invitations, or finding that you're spending significantly more time alone than you used to or ideally would like to, it's a signal that it might be time to consciously make a change. Staying connected doesn't necessarily mean you need to be constantly surrounded by large groups of people. Even seemingly small, consistent efforts can make a world of difference. This could involve reaching out to reconnect with an old friend you've lost touch with, finding and joining a local group or club centered around a shared interest, like gardening, crafts, or walking, or simply making it a regular habit to engage in meaningful conversations with neighbors, family members, or acquaintances. Remember, the relationships you actively nurture and invest in today don't just bring immediate happiness and companionship. They serve as a crucial investment in helping ensure that you stay healthier, more resilient, and live longer, more fulfilling lives in the years ahead. Now that we've explored these 7 significant indicators, your walking speed, grip strength, balance, sleep patterns, appetite and eating habits, stress management skills, and social connections, take a quiet moment to reflect honestly on where you currently stand in relation to each of them. Are you generally moving through life with vitality, strength, and confidence? Or have you perhaps noticed some subtle shifts or changes that might be serving as gentle warning signs? The truly empowering news is that most of these factors are not fixed. They are largely within your sphere of influence and can often be improved with conscious effort and lift. Style adjustments. Your future health trajectory isn't rigidly predetermined, and the choices you make starting today can have a profoundly positive impact on both the quantity and, perhaps more importantly, the quality of the years you have ahead of you. If you've recognized one or more areas where you feel improvement is needed, please don't wait for a doctor's explicit instruction or for a problem to become more pronounced before taking action. The time to make a positive change is now. Start small, perhaps by committing to taking more frequent walks, incorporating simple exercises to strengthen your muscles, prioritizing habits that promote better sleep, making a conscious effort to stay socially engaged, or actively practicing techniques to manage stress more effectively. Ultimately, the goal isn't solely about extending your lifespan. It's about enhancing your health span, living better with more energy, independence, and joy. Because at the end of the day, true longevity isn't just measured by the number of years remaining, but by the richness and quality of life experienced within those years. Thank you so much for joining us today at Old Age Wisdom. We genuinely hope this discussion has provided you with valuable insights and actionable ideas. We would truly love to hear from you. Please take a moment to leave a comment below and share perhaps one key takeaway you learned today or one small change you plan to implement in your own life based on this information. Your thoughts, experiences, and feedback are incredibly important to us and provide great motivation, so please don't hesitate to share. If you enjoyed this video and found the information helpful, we would be grateful if you could give it a like, subscribe to the Old Age Wisdom channel if you haven't already, and consider sharing it with friends or family members who might also benefit. Your support is instrumental in helping us continue creating informative and inspiring content tailored for navigating the aging process wisely. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.